Hey traders, I'm gonna teach you I'm gonna teach you two simple but powerful chart reading techniques that's gonna help you become a much better trader. So before I get into it, the purpose of this video, guys, is to educate you to help you become a much better trader. Do not place a trade based on what you see in this video, right? Because this is just one technique or two techniques here that I'm going to simply teach you here. Two techniques that's going to really help you. Two powerful chart reading techniques. All right. So just that's all. Just make sure that you don't place trade here. And yeah, this is education only, guys. I'm educating you. This is no advice at all. You know yourself. There's a lot more that goes into becoming a good trader. All right. Anyway, guys, let's actually get into this video. Before I start this video, guys, first link in the description. I want you to click on that. Why? Because I'm literally giving away all my strategies and 4 weeks worth of free coaching for you. And the deal is this, guys. And that's if you're accepted. That's if you're accepted as well too. I'm literally giving away all my education, all my strategies, and 4 weeks worth of free coaching. And if you like it, you can stay a member to the coaching program. If you don't, then you can cancel anytime, and there's no risk to you at all. So there we go, guys. But I'm doing this over the next few days, and then I'm shutting it down for good. So if you're interested in getting all my strategies and testing my coaching out to see if it's right for you, then I'm only doing it over the next few days. So click on the link in the below. Click on that link in the below. My tongue is tied. And let's get straight into this video. All right. So the first chart reading technique I want to teach you is using simple moving averages. I'm using a daily chart right now, but it doesn't matter what time frame chart you're using. Use any chart you want to. But what you want to do, guys, is the thing here is, man, I'm starting like a bitch right now. I'm getting hungry as hell because I've been fasting all morning. All right, so so the first thing, guys, is use two moving averages. Use just two moving averages. And what you want to say is, okay, firstly, where is the moving averages pointing and is there separation? So the first thing you want to say is where the average is pointing. So this one here is a 52 and a 20. So this blue one here is a 52 and this green one here is a 20. So where is the 52 and 2 pointing? So the first thing is, where are they pointing? They're both pointing down, right? Okay, cool. So that simply tells me that they're a bit of a longer term and a bit of a shorter term. 20, which is like 1 month. 52 is like 2 months. Over the last couple of months, there's massive momentum on the downside. So momentum is on the downside. Secondly, is there space between them? And as you can see, right, there's a nice space between here and here. So there is space between them. That's showing that momentum is picking up. When there's no space, if they might be pointing down like right here, but there's very little space. See that there? This is not a very good read. But when the market starts to trend, if you start to see, now if you're about to get into a trade and you start to see the 52 pointing down, the 20 pointing down, this is the daily chart, by the way, and you're about to get into a long trade, and you see, hang on a minute, the momentum is shifting down. I'm actually going against momentum. Therefore, this is a low probability trade. So if you're trying to buy it here, or maybe you're trying to buy this hammer here, you know you're going against the overall momentum of the trade. So don't be trying to go against that if you're looking for a high probability setup. Makes sense? So that's the very first thing there. And the second thing is, look at the market itself and bring up here, like, again, I'm looking at the daily chart right now. And what I like to do is I like to say, okay, I'm going to bring up, say, 3 months worth of a daily time frame, and I'm simply going to identify the highs and lows, and I'm going to let me tell it what's going on. So right now, as you can see here, we have a low, we have a high, we have a lower low, and we have a lower high. Okay, so what's really going on here? We're getting what? We're getting lower lows and lower highs. So without you knowing anything in the past here, who's starting to come into control here? Sellers, right? But the sellers, you'll notice that the pullbacks here, and this is real key here, right? So we're getting lower peaks and lower lows. But the pullbacks are quite deep, as you can see, right? The pullbacks, we're getting this pullback here is quite deep, and so on and so forth. So you can see, what I mean by deep is that this is actually quite a deep pullback before the next what? Before the next drop. So what is this here? This is a lower low. So who's in control? Sellers, right? And what I mean by deep pullback, you can see it's a deep pullback here, but look at this here. Look, see how shallow that pullback was before the next drop? So you can see what's happening there, right? Look at this here. This is a what? This is a lower high. This is what? This is a lower low. Then it runs up, makes this lower high, and then it runs up and makes this what? Another lower high, and then starts to sell off big time. This is actually a trade that I did recently. That's the reason why I'm doing this trade, doing this right now. I got into here like literally 5 minutes before the close, and I got out here. 77% return in 1 day trading options. So that was my trade just recently, just as I'm doing this recording. So anyway, guys, but that doesn't mean anything, guys. I'm not talking about who cares about that trade here, all right? Who cares about the trade? I'm just trying to teach you guys some things that I use to help me identify high probability setups. And that was actually what I'm teaching you guys right now was two major things that helped me identify this setup. Now there's a lot of other things that went into this setup, but firstly was the moving averages. Plus also I started to see that with the actual market itself, you can actually see what is happening. Lower high. So we have a downtrend, and as you can see here, right, we had a little higher low here, over here. That's okay. In a downtrend, we need lower lows and lower highs, but the most important part is that as long as the sellers are making lower lows, then that's the most important part there. Make sense? So markets make lower lows, and then we get this nice breakdown bar. And that's obviously what again, there's a lot more that actually went into this trade. I'm not going to tell you just take a trade based on that. I'm not. But there's a lot more that actually went into this trade. But this is the foundation to a really good, powerful setup. Make sense, guys? So two simple but powerful chart reading techniques is one, use the moving averages to tell you where momentum is, whether there's space and where they're pointing. And secondly, look at those peaks and troughs of the highs and lows to determine where the trend is. So if you're trading with momentum and you're trading with the trend, you have a high probability trade on your hands. Make sense? All right, guys, that's it for me. I'll see you in the next video.